YouTube, how's it going? Heir of Carthage here, and welcome back. What the bear crap is going on here? They will get something in there for the old time's sake, or I should have said Heir of Kislev or Heir of Ice here too. So welcome back to the realm. We're going to continue playing the campaign as Kislev. I am still a little too busy to be able to record the cinematic battles, but a lot of people have been asking me about my thoughts on Warhammer 3 at the moment. I noticed that there's quite a bit of drama floating around, like the player count on it dropped off really heavy. I've seen some creators, including Legend of Total War, just like, he looks like he's really ragging on the game, talking about how much better Warhammer 2 is. I'll put my thoughts in on this. Honestly, though, I mean, I'll tell you what I think just right off the bat and summarize it. I don't think that the game is in a dramatically bad place. I think it has some bugs and things that need to be improved, design features that could have been better prior to launch, and bugs that could have been taken care of prior to launch. Sure, yeah, all those things are true, but those same things were true of Game 2 when it launched. And I suppose someone could say, well, this game had been in development a long time, and they already had Game 2 as a model. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, so it probably shouldn't have happened on launch, but at the same time, like, I don't think I play a game, and this is, I guess, just me getting used to the sad state of modern gaming. I don't think I play a game at launch that is in great shape these days. And, you know, I say that, so maybe I just have a lower expectation. But I also think some of it's play style. So, like, for instance, and I'm not, like, when I bring up Legend of Total War in here, I'm just bringing it up because there's a lot of difference between me and him in terms of the way we play the game, the amount of time that we play the game, the way we approach the game, all that kind of stuff. So, like, for instance, the biggest things that get on my nerves right now with Warhammer 3 is the performance in the game is really bad. Like, the frame rates are not good, and I think that hurts a lot of people's ability to play the game well. I could be wrong, but I also get quite a few crashes when I'm alt and tabbing, like getting my recording software stuff set up. So that's where I actually get the most crashes on my watch. But in any case, like I said, there's certain things that, in my opinion, need to be made better. The auto resolve in the game is pretty obnoxious. It's wrong, like, a vast majority of the time, like, and not just by a little, by a lot. And the way attrition works on certain things, you end up with, like, for instance, your war sleds take attrition for one turn, and you lose, like, a few hit points, and you'll go into battle, and a whole sled model will be missing, even though you took, like, just a tiny bit of attrition. It's the weirdest things, like, stuff like that happen. There's all those kinds of little bugs. Chariots aren't colliding right with units and causing the type of damage that we would expect them to. Like, they cause some damage, but they barely ever kill a unit model. Like, so there's something going on with collisions and collision damage that needs to be fixed. These would be some of the most noticeable things to me. But I guess that the thing is, for me, is, like, since I don't get, like, uber competitive in multiplayer, and since I'm not having to, like, cheese out really hard against legendary AI that's getting a whole bunch of cheats, right? See, I'm playing casual campaign. Like, on this one, I've got the campaign difficulty turned up, but I don't have the battle difficulty turned up. And it's because sometimes I just don't enjoy having to cheese it out against, you know, an overly buffed AI. Some people like that game mode, right? And so, like, Legend of Total War would be an example. He and I play on very different game settings, and we play in a very different fashion. So, like, for instance, when the way he's playing, he's going to need to win battles very convincingly all the time in a predictable way, against forces that are going to be insanely buffed and, you know, insanely powerful. I don't have to deal with a lot of that, like, in my campaign. Do I need to win convincingly? Yeah, a lot of times I do. But the AI is not going to be standing and fighting to the last man with a band of peasants on the settings that I'm playing the game at. So some of these things don't impact me quite as much. So, for instance, like the collision mechanics being messed up, that doesn't impact me as much because I'm not having to force route an AI that's fighting down to the last man, right? I'm guessing some of these things become a lot more apparent when you're in that playstyle. Plus, here's the other huge difference between, say, like myself and someone like Legend of Total War. He plays the game, like, he played the game more at launch. Like, I don't remember the exact amount of hours he said at launch, but I want to say that even now, he's got, like, at launch, he had 3 or maybe even almost 4 times more time in the game than I did, than I do now, still, I should say, and that was at launch for him. So he's playing this game probably more than I work, even at my full-time job, or close to the same amount, right? because I only work weekdays. If I understand right, a lot of his content, is it coming 7 days a week? I don't know. I'm just saying, like, there's an amount of time in the game where certain things probably make a bigger difference on the things that you pick up and the things that irritate you, because you're noticing things that other people aren't at that point. I'm going to tear down this toolmaker for a little bit. I need to build a building here to get rid of these crappy traits that we brought back from the realm of chaos. So I'm going to have to deal with that. So yeah, anyway, there are definitely bugs in this game. There are things that need to be improved. Like, so I'm not denying that. And some people are like, well, are you defending CA on that? I mean, no, I'm not defending them. I'm just saying, like, pick a game that you've played in the last 5 years. Which one of them launched, like, in spectacular shape? Just go ahead. I mean, outside of a game on my Nintendo Switch, and I don't want to include consoles here, right? But pick a game on PC that launched in just spectacular shape, especially a game that was as big and as complicated as a Total War game. Just go ahead, I'll wait. If there are some, seriously, hit me in the comments. I'll take a look at it and think about it. But I can't think of it. I can't think of one where that has been the case. And doesn't mean it hasn't happened? No, I don't think so. But I just think, like, I mean, I think of other popular games that launched. For instance, Halo Infinite was a big launch. It was crapped up. You had the Battlefield launch was crapped up. People were mad at Call of Duty. People were mad at other big launches. Like, I mean, is there a launch at this point in gaming? And again, am I defending this the way no, I'm not defending. I'm just saying this is the world you live in with gaming. Okay, like, this is the world of gaming at the moment, and unfortunately, it kind of is what it is. Now, do we want it to get better? Sure. Yeah, I think we want it to get better. Warhammer 3 was under development for a long time. I think some of the bugs and some of the design things that CA has done could have been better at launch. I think that had they spent more time playing some of this stuff and reviewing it before launch, had they had a beta experience, they could have worked out a lot of this. It probably would have delayed the launch, maybe even a little more. But overall, like, when I look at things, the game looks beautiful. They added in a new battle mode type. They added in a ton of features with multiplayer campaign. They added in, like, a lot of new factions, way more lords than we've ever had at launch. So at the same time, like, that, yes, there's things wrong, and I want those things fixed. They also brought on an absolute crap ton of new stuff, like a crap ton. And so at the same time, whenever you bring that much new stuff in, they had to revamp the graphics engine. They had to revamp a lot of things. Again, does this mean I want the game to launch in a state that makes some people unhappy? No. No, I don't. Like, I don't want those things to happen, but where is it not happening? And then, I mean, like, for instance, I can say this, and, you know, again, it's different for every person. Not everybody has to be like me. I'm just giving my experience here because people have asked about it. So, for instance, I have barely touched Halo Infinite since launch, and I love Halo. Why? Well, because it's just not that great. Like, the multiplayer on it is really actually kind of bad, and not because the gameplay is bad. Just they didn't put a ton of features in. They didn't put a lot of maps. They didn't give the players the features that you need to make it fun. And multiplayer is what brings you back to a game like Halo over and over again. Like, did I have fun with the campaign in Halo Infinite? I sure did. But there wasn't a whole lot of it. You know what I mean? Like, it was kind of short. So it played out. Like, so again, was the game like a complete catastrophe? No. But I haven't touched it since launch. Why? Well, because the company probably could have done a whole bunch of things a lot better. And for me, Warhammer 3 has been, in some ways, similar, but in some ways very different. I gotta wait a long time for my reinforcements to come in. So Warhammer 3 for me has been much better. Like, I haven't stopped playing it since launch. Now, granted, I haven't put over 1,000 hours in Warhammer 3 like some of the creators have, because this isn't my full-time job. I haven't stopped playing. I'm still playing it. In the very rare times that I even get to play games for fun, I'm playing Warhammer 3. Like, so that's what I've been playing. So when I say these things, you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to do the same things as me in your free time, right? You all don't have to be playing Warhammer 3. You can be mad at it and not want to play it right now. So that's not what I'm trying to get at. All I'm saying is that for me, it's just not my experience. So a lot of people may be feeling very frustrated towards the game right now and they may want a lot of things to change. And I think on a lot of the points, rightfully so. Like, I don't think some of the points people are making are bad points. Like, for instance, the collision damage, it's bad. The auto-resolve, it's not good. Needs to be fixed. Like, there's definitely stuff that needs to be fixed. And that I wouldn't sit here and defend, like, acting like it doesn't need to be fixed. But at the same time, none of those things are ruining gameplay for me. There are some design decisions on the Realms of Chaos stuff that I think should be improved. So, like, for instance, if you think about the Vortex campaign, you get the automatic option to fight the final battle to stop someone from winning the Vortex. And I think it stops them permanently if you stop them. Now, if you're playing the Souls campaign here in Warhammer 3, you have to park your Legendary Lord at the Forge of Souls to stop them, and it says that there's 15 turns in between them trying, but I have experienced multiple times that that is not true. The AI can definitely try more often than 15 turns at the Souls. So here's a very easy and quick design decision fix to that. They only get one shot at the Forge of Souls, and just make that battle like automatic. You don't have to park your Legendary Lord at the Forge of Souls. Just have it be like, hey, someone's gonna fight at the Forge of Souls. You better, you know, this is your opportunity to stop them. And if you stop them, you stop them. Like, I think that should be that, right? And that's a very easy design fix for CA. It's gonna take very little to fix that. Very simple. And so I think that's something they could do to improve. And then as far as the other Realms of Chaos, like, I hear a lot of people complain about the Realms of Chaos. I mean, I think a lot of it is just their personal dislike of the design decision, and that's fair. You're free to dislike it, but at the same time, just because you personally dislike a design decision doesn't necessarily make it wrong. So you have to look at stuff objectively. Now, there are things that I can agree on, like what I just mentioned with the Forge of Souls. That needs to be adjusted. I think it also needs to be adjusted to where if the player doesn't want to play the skull thing, there should just be or the soul thing, there should just be an option at the beginning of the campaign, like a radio button. Just turn off the Forge of Souls mechanic. Like, if you all don't want to play it, what's wrong with that? So again, that feels like another thing that CA can do quite easily. Just a button, just toggles it off. And then you just don't get the Realm of Chaos stuff. You just play a campaign if you want to. So again, that would be another very easy fix for CA to make, and they could pump it out there quickly, and that would probably make a lot of people happy in some regards. So there's definitely things that they need to fix, and I think they will. And like I said, am I thrilled that the community is upset about stuff at launch? No, that makes me kind of upset because I really like this game. I think it is great and it has a lot of potential, but I hate seeing the community kind of divided on how they are feeling right now, and I don't want there to be a whole bunch of drama now. Like, I'm too old to get into drama. Like, I don't have time for it. I'm too old. I'm talking about this because a lot of people ask me about it. It isn't drama for me. Like, I don't get upset when I boot up Warhammer 3. I'm not demanding that CA instantly change stuff. Like, that's just not the experience that I'm having in the game right now. Again, you don't have to have the same experience as me, and you don't have to feel the same way. So this is not me bashing the people who feel that way. Go ahead. You know, if you want the game changed, tell them things you need to change. All I'm saying is I'm not experiencing the same, you know, level of frustration and everything that other players are in the game right now. So that's all there is to that. I think they need to change things. I think there's a bunch of things they could do very quickly. So, like, another idea, for instance, if you think about the Realms of Chaos, in some ways some of them are kind of boring. I mean, if I was going to level a criticism at the Realm of Chaos, it's not so much the way it functions, it's just that some of them are a little boring. Slaanesh is just kind of an interesting one, right? Because you can use it to get a whole bunch of money. But again, what we mentioned earlier, since the souls are so important to the campaign and you can't really ignore them, that kind of takes away the fun of the Realm of Slaanesh, like being able to use it as a way to get some resources or buffs. You can't afford that because the race for the souls is so sweaty with the AI, right? So if you change that, all of a sudden the Realm of Slaanesh is kind of cool, honestly, because you could venture there to, you know, either conquer it or to just go get some aid to help you in your campaign. The Realm of Tzeentch, for instance, you should be finding magical items when you're in the Realm of Tzeentch. Like, you ought to be able to stumble onto, like, really cool magical items. You know how when you go into the Realm of Khorne, you can pick up the chain sword? That's cool. That's a neat feature. They should have more stuff like that in the Realm of Khorne. Like, when you fight there, you pick up weapons more often from the armies that you fight. Like, really cool weapons, too. Like, unique stuff. that you can bring back and have fun with. And then do the same thing with the Tzeentch realm, like magical items or potions or other stuff that you pick up. Maybe potions would make more sense from like the Nurgle realm, but you could also do other things. Like, so when you come back from the Nurgle realm, sure, there's a chance you pick up some unwanted traits, but then when you remove those traits, like by the player having to take the time to remove them at the right building, add in some other cool stuff. So like you get back from the realm of Nurgle, you have some undesirable traits, you take the time to stop and start removing them, and then the player should be rewarded with, okay, you know, you survived the plague, so now your army replenishes faster. You know what I mean? Or they become more resistant to plague because they survived the realm of Nurgle. So like now your lord has a 50% less chance of picking up plague. You come back from the realm of Tzeentch, and the casters in that army get more winds of magic reserve because they survived the realm of Tzeentch. You come back from the realm of Khorne, you remove the bad things from the realm of Khorne, your army gets, you know, a permanent melee attack increase or something. You know what I mean? Like, just cool stuff like that. Reward the player for going through that adventure, and then just change a few things about the way it works. You know, give the players the option to ignore the race for souls. That's easy. That's an easy win. And a lot of people would say, well, the new Mortal Empires map would fix that. It kind of would. You know, it gives the players the option to play without having to worry about, you know, going after a story mechanic. But, you know, there's no reason why players shouldn't be able to play the smaller campaign map in the same way. So I think some of these things would probably relieve a lot of the pressure off CA. And then, of course, they're going to need to be very quick on patching the buggy stuff. So, in my opinion, they need to get really quick onto the collision problems and the auto-resolve problems and some of the stuff similar to that players are reporting and being frustrated by. They need to be very quick on the trigger with that. Make that a big focus. And then go after a few of those really quick, easy wins. Now, I'm not a developer. Maybe these wins aren't as easy as I think they are, right? But I think it would be a relatively quick and easy win, for instance, to make some of the campaign changes that I mentioned. Like, so if you remove the Chaos Realm traits, you get to add those special ones. That seems like that would be a super easy fix. And then, you know, making a button at the beginning of the campaign where it just turns off the Forge of Souls stuff. I don't know, would it be that difficult? Again, I'm not a developer. Doesn't sound like it would be something that difficult, but I don't know, maybe it is. I just think a few of those things would make a huge difference. So is the game like in a state where I'm screaming at CA to fix things? No, I don't think so. But should they be fixing things? Yes. I mean, at this point, you've kind of got a rift in the community. People are upset, and you don't want that, right? So even though I disagree with the level of upset that some people are at the game, I don't want that rift in the community. I don't want people like Legend of Total War hating the game. I don't want, you know, the viewers and the people who play it in a similar fashion and have a similar style. I don't want them being upset at the game. I want the game to make the fans happy. I want people to be really excited about it. So, like I said, all that said, even though I disagree with folks, that doesn't mean that I just think CA should ignore them. They got a lot of work to do, and they should get busy on it. But at the same time, I hate that it's kind of been this way after launch. I wish it wouldn't be. But then again, I'm not really terribly surprised. I kind of just expect games to be in this state these days. So I don't know. I guess the state of disappointment to some degree has become the norm for me with games. And maybe that's a problem for me because I shouldn't feel that way. You all can tell me what you think down in the chat. But anyway, that's kind of what I'm thinking about the whole situation right now. There is a lot of things to fix. It's definitely not ruining the game for me. And this is all personal opinion, of course. Personal opinion, I still like Warhammer 3 far better than Warhammer 2 at this point. I haven't even booted up Warhammer 2 since I've started playing Game 3. Was Warhammer 2 in a pretty good state at the end? Yeah, absolutely. It was also a game that had been out for, you know, the better part of 4 years and had, you know, a ton of DLC and patches and other stuff. And so it probably does get rough when you start comparing Game 2 to Game 3. Now, I know one thing people will say is, well, Heir, but they had Game 2 as the base. How can you launch Game 3 with some of these things? I don't know. Again, I'm not a programmer. I don't understand those things. I don't know how you can have something working right in Game 2 that releases and doesn't work right in Game 3. I'm assuming whenever they had to revamp things, make new graphics engines, I don't know. It comes in somewhere. It's frustrating to me as well. I don't disagree with that sentiment that, you know, you feel like you should be launching with the bare minimum, you know, at the same, but I'm guessing that whenever you start upgrading the software coding of something, that there's a risk of some things just not translating over the same in the new code. Again, I don't know these things for sure because I'm not a programmer. I don't understand anything about development, so that's why I'm hesitant to jump too much and just like put too much into that because I just don't understand it. I wish I did, but I don't. So anyway, there's my thoughts. Hopefully it was helpful to you all. If it's not, then you can just tell me to cram it down in the comments. That's totally fine as well. Because, of course, people are definitely entitled to have the opinion they want. They paid for the game. And when you pay for the game, I guess you bought the right to complain about it in whatever way you see fit. So let's take a look at what I need to do here. My army's not too bad. I feel like I'm missing at least a couple of armored Cassars. Make this like the proper Doom stack that I want. But I'm also trying to think longer term here, some things that could be handy. I would love to have a unit of Bear Riders. I don't think such a thing is available to me at the moment. But I would definitely love to have a unit of War Bear Riders available. So let's see what we can start stacking back into this army to get it up to snuff. We could do more Ice Guards. Ice Guards are very powerful units. But at the same time, I have so much range, like some part of me wants to have at least a little bit of melee capability. But, I mean, if you look at them, I can't really get any of the melee units I want at the moment. So I feel like we might as well just grab the extra couple of armored Cassars with great weapons. And then the question is, do I get another Streltsy or do I get another Ice Guard? I would have 6 infantry. It would make it 7 if I take the extra Streltsy. Streltsy aren't great in melee, whereas I could have an extra Ice Guard with Glaive. And honestly, the Ice Guard with Glaive probably is a more dangerous unit than Streltsy over the long run, even though Streltsy pumps out more DPS in a shorter period of time. So I think I'm going to take the Ice Guard for the moment. As much as I do like Streltsy, they're pretty underwhelming in melee, whereas the Ice Guard is pretty great in melee if you get them in the right way. So I think that's the position that I'm... What is the... It took me to him like that I'm supposed to move him. It's a hero not moved. Speaking of glitches,
Orthodoxy.
I've got a glitch right now. I can't move that guy. See, Heir, you're an idiot. This game's ruined. Okay, all right. I guess I know there's going to be someone out there feeling that way that doesn't agree with the way I'm at it, and then they're going to really be laughing when I ran into that glitch. It's actually the first time I've run into that one. Let's see here. I need to... You know what, improve the armor on sleds is not a bad idea. Armor for winged lancers, don't really need that. Let's go ahead and end the turn, and then maybe I'll be able to move my character on the next one. So yeah, like right now, for instance, I'm having to slow down with Katarina, recruit some units. I'm trying to get the bad traits off of her. There should be a reward for that. Absolutely, there should be a reward for that. Like, so I think that's one of the obvious improvements that you make in this game. Join the wars? No, not right now. But eventually we will. Don't worry, lady. Looks like the Legion of Chaos is making some inroads against the Great Orthodoxy, so Stout needs to get his game on. One of my agents got wounded out on the map over here. That shouldn't be the end of the world. This area is having trouble growing. This is another thing that if I were going to have them improve something, when the rifts open, they spread chaos corruption at just an absolutely phenomenal rate. I mean, it's like plus 100 or something, or plus 50. It's something huge. And because of the Nurgle corruption here, look at this, it's minus 110 growth. So this completely stops the growth of your settlements. Like, completely stops it. I think that they should stop the impact on growth, or at least like not make it this extreme. So maybe like the hit to growth, instead of being minus 110 this high level, maybe it should just be like minus 20 or minus 30, like something that hurts you, but it doesn't have to be quite so extreme. Because I have had campaigns of Kislev where there are so many demon armies in my lands that my settlements just never hit tier 5. Like, they will never hit it because there are so many demons there that the corruption never goes away, and you literally cannot grow the corruption there, and then it totally cuts you off from higher tier units. So again, there's some design things here that I think they could fix easily that would improve some of the feel. So that would, I think, have players enjoying the game considerably more if they're frustrated with some of the current things. All right, I'm gonna head over here. Look at this agent spam over there around Castle Alexandrov. All right, we've got a lot of money. It wouldn't hurt to probably get Hannibal Baracus some better units from global recruitment as well. It's okay if our income falls some. One of the things you can do as Kislev to make income is to just win a crapload of battles against Chaos. It helps you in terms of getting supporters, and it's going to bring you in a lot of income. So you can kind of 2 for 1 with some of that stuff. And it allows you to have more armies than you would otherwise be able to afford. There's a Chaos agent over here. Let's try and wound. Oh, all right. We failed to wound, but that's okay. We'll keep trying. And Hannibal Baracus here. We're not under an immediate threat of invasion from, but there will be soon from another Norscan army. So what I'm going to do is keep all the units that I have in this army at the moment. I'm going to start recruiting some other units into this army. And what I would really like to have in this army ultimately is some Ice Guard, because Ice Guard is insanely powerful. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and get a couple of Ice Guard with swords. Recruiting with Hannibal Baracus. It's going to take a long time. And of course, we can always pull off of that and go intercept an enemy army if we need to. But the Ice Guard takes a while to recruit over global. There's probably a tech that actually reduces that some, but let's see, income from buildings, defender. We don't need defender because he's going to be here all the time. 10% income buff won't be a lot, but it's something, and we'll take it. We can invoke a right here. Let's see which one would help us. We can get extra income from trade and buildings. Gain supporters when constructing a building. Supporters when fighting a battle. The Wrath of the Bear. I think this one here from Urson is pretty great because it causes attrition to enemy armies. Now the growth could be handy too because we've been down a lot of growth. In fact, I might do that one for a while. Let's do the growth one for a little while, and then I'll do the other invocation if I need to. So let's take the growth, see if we can help. We're still at minus 40, so see, even though we're down at only 50% Nurgle corruption, you are still at 0 growth with the 50% corruption level. Remember, it's like plus 100 when the rift opens, and then you got to deal with crap like this. So see, like these enemy agent spam comes around, it'll start to have an impact on these other corruptions. So we'll see what happens. Right now, I'm not suffering a ton of it, but like all these agents parked here can sometimes drive your corruption up. It can get pretty frustrating. Especially with like Nurgle's agents spreading plague and stuff everywhere as well. It can get really frustrating, in fact. Let's end this turn. Let's see how we do here. Katarina is going to be ready for combat. I don't know if that building's completed yet, so we do want to get rid of her bad traits. And let's see, non-aggression pact sounds pretty good. We want to make friends with all these Empire factions, and then as they start to ask for military access, we'll want to go ahead and give it to them so that they come up here and start fighting against Chaos, or if there's Chaos stacks in our land, we're gonna want them to come in and fight with us. Oh, there we go, we got a trait removed, so the building's completed. That was a pretty crappy trait right there too, so we have one left here, which is a speed and melee defense hit. Got one more turn that we're recruiting. That's funny, that trait got removed. Oh, it comes from the main chain building. I didn't even have to tear that one down. Oh, dang, that's frustrating. I'll go ahead and let it finish. Or, you know what, we should just go ahead and... I didn't realize the main chain gave it for Kislev. I thought it was only that other one. Well, dang, that's great. This is good. That's the way it should be. That would have been a... Yeah, that's actually really great. Good. See, we complain about the things they've done right, or wrong. There's something they did right. Access to Griffin Legion. I'm just not totally impressed with shot cavalry right now, and it's probably that collision stuff that I talked about earlier. So I just don't feel a need to throw shot cavalry on there. However, we can get Warbear Riders from a tier 4 settlement, and so I'm gonna go ahead and start building that. We'll definitely need a sled recruiting option at some point too, and Kislev can now get built up to the largest settlement size, so I want to do that as well. Growth is nearly back here, like very nearly back. Look at that, you're still getting minus 40 growth from the Nurgle corruption, and the Nurgle corruption is under 50%. It's just like 40 ought to be like, for instance, the top end of that penalty. The top end, because I mean, where are you ever having like over 100 in growth? That just seems kind of ridiculous. So Let's go after the enemy agent. It looks like those agents are following that one too. I'm gonna pile onto the agent spam. Man, it feels good the agent spam's hitting the AI instead of me for once. Feels good. Feels bad for them, but feels great for me. I'm down. I'm here for it.
My pulks are at your service.
Okay, let's see here. They want me to join a war. I'm not joining any additional wars at the moment, because I'm just trying to get reset after that last soul run. I do want to do some expansion. Oh, the Poxmakers got destroyed. Suck it, Nurgle. Oh, no one likes Nurgle. Okay, some of you like Nurgle, I get it. But Heir doesn't like Nurgle. Heir does not like Nurgle at all. All right, we did not get our trait removed, unfortunately. So let's see if it'll maybe go on this turn. I don't want to sit around forever. Does the one in Hell Pit remove it? It does. I'd love to get up here and start putting some hurt on the Legion of Chaos. The Dwarves of Krak-a-Drak are still alive, and they have got a Norscan Siege, so that's actually pretty great news for us. I feel like we could help them by getting up here and putting a hurt on the Legion of Chaos. I think I'm going to. I mean, we'll hope that trait gets removed on the way, because we're going to have to park in some settlements kind of along the way. Patchy will have a couple of Ice Guard here in a couple turns. Money's in a good place. We can build whatever buildings we need to. Let's just go ahead and end another turn here. So we'll get Hannibal's army built up slowly here while we have the opportunity. That way he can do a better job defending our realm while we're away fighting in the realms of chaos.
My pulks are at your service.
All right, what does this guy want? He wants us to join a war again. Not yet. Once Hannibal's up and running, maybe. But right now he's just archer spam. Don't get me wrong, that archer spam's not bad if you're up against the right stuff. Wouldn't be good against like a well-armored army of chaos warriors from like Khorne or something, but not bad against other stuff. Let's park in Hell Pit for a turn. Isn't that funny? Someone told me too we should rename this to Bear Pit, and that is actually a pretty good idea. Let's go to Bear Pit, rename that. Also, I'm gonna get to a couple more of your comments here before the end. All right, let's see here. Skill points, what do I want to put this into? Got his attack and defense up, which is typically the ones you want to focus on. Charge bonus is pretty great too. Ends up doing a lot of damage. All right, so Tsarina Katarina. Did she already spend the turn? No, she hasn't spent the entire turn downtime there yet. It's time for our next research bit here as well. Bear baiting. Global recruitment capacity could be really handy. It's going to take me 30 turns, though, to get to it. Gosh dang, it would be good to have, though. Income from trade good producing buildings could be a decent. Missile resistance for Cassars, Armor Cassars, Streltsy would be nice, especially against Tzeentch. Ammunition for war sleds would be great. We don't have the right buildings for all that stuff, though. Upkeep for elemental bears. Ammunition for Cassar, Streltsy Ice Guard. Yeah, see, that would be really nice, too. Well, I'm gonna go and start working on this one. There's a lot of good ones.
A gift.
Might as well.
For all the money.
We got plenty to do. Let's see. We can get the Salix Lullaby unlocked on this agent. Let's keep trying to get this Chaos agent wounded. We keep failing, but we'll slowly gain experience over time with these agents. So that's all we really need to accomplish here is just keep working with them. We're building them up, and then they can embed in Hannibal's army once we've gotten them built up a little bit. So but you'll see I'm kind of focusing on Assassinate and Specialist just because it helps them, you know, succeed and level up faster. Plus, it gets rid of some of these agents in my land that are just going to be spreading corruption and problems. So let's see what we get here. How are you all feeling about the game? I talked about it earlier. No doubt some of you will leave your comments. Get down in there in comments. Tell me what you think. Am I wrong, in your opinion? share it. Feel free. It's okay. You know, you don't have to agree with me. I think it's fine to share it. But I mean, I think I'm probably in the minority right now, like if I had to take a guess, but I'm actually enjoying the crap out of this game right now. It's my favorite game by far. Like I said, if I have spare time to play a game right now, it's going to be this game. Again, not everybody's going to feel the same way, and they don't have to. All right, we got our trait removed. Awesome. Let's take the fight to the Legions of Chaos, shall we?
March with pride.
Yes,
and
we
verve.
shall. Oh, we're going to get corruption
Follow
up
your
here.
queen.
All right, but that's okay. We'll take the fight into their realm on the
Mistress
next
of
turn.
Ops.
Bear Pit can now hit growth tier there, so that's great. We're actually getting some growth here, which is really important. And growth is really kicked back up now. So this is good. We need that growth bad because we weren't getting any for many, many turns. Kislev is almost up to tier 5, which means we won't have to worry about the growth after that. So that's fantastic. At least I'd have one settlement all the way up to tier 5. Obviously, I'd like to get more up to that level. Without the issue of...
Move or die.
I'm gonna... You know what, though? Actually,
For Mother Kislev.
yeah, this is okay. Let's go ahead and select a target right here.
Your threat is negligible.
And I'm just going to move forward a little more, and then I'm going to go into an ambush stance so that this Norscan army can't see us coming.
Down here.
We can get a hold of them and kill them.
Of the great Orthodoxy.
I think I'm going to go ahead and take this Patriarch and come embed it in Hannibal's army. We don't need him over there at the moment. It would be handy for closing rifts, but we can always recruit another agent when the time comes to start closing rifts.
You
Potentially.
cannot deceive Kislev.
How's our Ice Witch doing over here? I think she succeeded on the last turn, so it's unlikely that she would be able to, yeah, have any agent success. I'll just move her a little out away from the blob. In fact, you know, let's just stick her in this army there too for now. All right, let's end our turn. I'm really looking forward to having the Steam Workshop come out for this game. I think there's going to be a lot of really cool stuff modders could do. So like if CA is a little bit slow or doesn't want to fix some of the design things that people are hating, I'll bet the modders will do it. Like, so for instance, I played stuff in mods on game 2 because I didn't like the supply lines feature the way it was. There was a lot of things that I didn't like the exact way it was, and the modders made it significantly better. And so I'm looking forward to that because it gives you an alternative, right? So like if CA doesn't do things the way that you like, or you just like seeing something different, I think it's cool to have the mods there because it gives you the opportunity to play the game the way that you want to and not have to worry as much about whether the developers' design decisions, you know, cut the way that you want them to cut.
Not.
Yeah, these guys are taking attrition. We got a lot of friendlies around too. Like, I don't think that the Legion of Chaos is in great shape over here, so this could be a good opportunity for us to whack them entirely. I would very much enjoy that. Right here, let's see, fiscally prudent. All right, and let's see. End ourselves another turn here. Got our agent on the way. I should have stopped and tried to assassinate right there on that turn because we had an agent right in front of us. Oh well. I hate it whenever these guys bring the Herald of Nurgles, because then they start spreading plagues everywhere, and the plagues are, whew, boy, yeah. They can get pretty out of control at times. This campaign actually is the first Kislev campaign where I felt like at least a little bit relaxed here. Most of my Kislev campaigns, oh my gosh, like it has been like a tidal wave of demon attacks just non-stop. So kind of enjoying something a little bit different here. Some of you may have enjoyed seeing me have to fight the tidal wave a little better, to be honest, but you know, it is what it is. I can't make the AI fight a certain way. I'm gonna go ahead and take this witch out of the stack and start, you know, working on assassinating people. We can level her up. Let's grab a couple of Ice Guard with glaives. And since we can recruit 3 units at a time, maybe grab one more with swords. Since we're gonna park there for 4 turns, let's go ahead and do that. Ah, sweet. Prague hit its growth. We're gonna start obviously with the one that gives us the Dwarven district here. It's gonna give us a lot of income. You definitely want to take advantage of these income and trade buildings for Kislev. And then as far as other things, we're going to need a place to recruit sleds because we got rid of the one we had. So let's do that. Plus it gives us access to heavies and, little Grom, all that kind of stuff. Take a look over here as well. So this would give me access to Zargard and Griffin Legion. We do not have yet. I don't feel like I really need Zargard or Griffin Legion, so I'll take that under consideration. I'm going to just look at the other options here. I have a building going where we'd be able to get to Bear Riders and the Elemental Bear. I can already recruit Ice Guard from the Boca Palace, so that is unnecessary. We've got this Citadel of Prague, which unlocks recruitment for several units, and then provides a global recruitment capacity increase, which is really nice, and it lowers the duration, so this is going to be the ticket. Not only does it give us recruiting, but it gives us some extremely nice benefits along the way. And I definitely want to get a hold of Warbear Riders. I'm going to spend the money there, and then of course you always want to build your defenses up. We'll go ahead and build this for growth, but honestly we can tear that building down when we get to the end of this process because we won't need the extra growth at Prague once we hit top tier. So that's only kind of a minimal, or it won't be needed full time, right? Let's build all the way up to the Merchant Guild Hall here, because again, we want to max out the cash. Growth is just really, honestly, not even necessary anymore in this province. This does drop construction costs down a little bit, so we could leave it here just temporarily and then replace it with something. Let's look at these other buildings here. This one gives us fur and drops upkeep on Warbear Riders and Elemental Bears, which we don't have them yet, but that could be good. This one gives a diplomatic buff and allegiance points with the Empire. And this one is going to give devotion and generate control and extra income. And that extra income boost goes all the way up to 20%, so that is... And it gives +1 control faction wides. That's also pretty sweet. That is a decent bit of furs that we would be able to trade as well. Both of those buildings are good. In fact, I think that's what we're going to build. So I think I'm going to put both of those in. There we go. And since we're going to get growth from the fur building, it's really not necessary to keep that one there either. So I'll just go ahead and rip that one down, and then let's build up to the best defense here so that Kislev can hold its own when siege. So there we go. We finally spent that chunk of change we were sitting around on, and we're headed towards the late game here in terms of units. So that is excellent. And then income-wise, it's obviously going to be great to have Kislev and Prague churning out max income. There are some other cities that also can churn out max income. It would be great to control those. But right now, they're controlled by friendlies. So, it's okay. What we can do, it won't make as big of an impact, but we can make sure that all of our minor settlements are at least producing some income. And right now they are, right? So it won't be near as much. It'll take multiple of these settlements to ever equal up to what one of the big ones does. Like, for instance, I've got this one for growth. It also gives me control, which is nice. These ones also give me control, and it's probably redundant at this point. So I'm going to tear that one down and put in some extra income because we're recruiting more units, and we could use... Look at that, the dwarves retook Krakadrak. Now they're going to have to face off against Kairos, which probably won't go well for them. But at least they're out there putting up a fight. At least they're out there putting up a fight. I think we can siege Krakadorden here. Oh yeah, we can not only siege it, we should be able to win this. So let's go ahead and fight this. All right, so we're here. I need to get to a couple of your comments while we start to wreck the forces defending this. Elijah says, Heir, when you get an elemental bear, can you name him Pooh? That or what, Jack? Yes. I think having a giant elemental bear named Pooh would be quite hilarious, just because, the word Pooh is funny, and because of Winnie the Pooh. So more than happy to oblige you all there. Let's take a look at what they left for defenses here in the back. Yeah, we shouldn't have any problem breaking through that. I stuck my sleds and my patriarch back here on the other side. Try and put pressure on all sides of the forces for Khorne here. I'll let my Streltsy and other units drive these guys back. We are under pretty heavy fire there from that tower. Tower is kind of infuriating. It's a rather powerful one. I'm gonna move up further.
Indeed.
See if I can lure some attention in with Tsarina Katarina. Do a little bit of bear baiting. Move up over here too. We want to keep my ice bows in range. And over here, we'll just let the sleds start to stack up. I thought I heard a cannon firing over here too. Yeah, I didn't. I'm gonna just clobber these guys, honestly. I don't think they can stop me. But yeah, I hate the fact that we're gonna be under fire from that cannon tower. Pretty irritating. Is it controlled by this one? Yeah, it is. So we need to go take that capture point.
Defenders of Kislev!
We'll start moving in with the ice guard over here. AI is falling back over here as well, so I'm gonna push in. Excellent. All right, we crushed that little contingent that was left back here. And I'm gonna go capture their capture point. I need to get my Frost Maiden up here as well. All right. Let's go ahead and... I'm just gonna Heart of Winter these guys.
Go with honor! March for Kislev!
Okay, I'm gonna move up here. We're moving into the capture position. That Herald of Corn is getting absolutely wrecked. Or sorry, it's a Blood Reaper, not a Herald. I'm just gonna go ahead and push up on him and then bring my Patriarch up here, and then let's bring our Frost Maiden up here as well. They're building a tower, but if I capture this, it'll stop that tower build. And over here, we've pushed in. I forgot my Streltsy. Push up a little further. Keep the pressure moving. Those units are not gonna do well against Ice Guard. And speaking of Ice Guard, let's start unloading. All right, so captured a point, so then a momentum is gonna start to pick up. Push up here. Must have another tower up. Yeah, they do. Could be the same one, I don't know. Let's just start sledding around through these Warriors of Corn. We can use our ice magic here, like for instance, if I get a little pile started here, we can use the Hawks of Miska. Help clean that up. Now, this is not what I wanted right here. My Ice Guard, rather than just firing from where they were at, which was totally possible, they went ahead and pushed forward for no good reason. Let's take Tsarina Katarina into that fight, and then we can summon a Snow Leopard right there too. All right, how are we doing over here? We need a Hawks of Miska. And let's get that Hawks right there. I'm gonna hold my sleds there for just a second so that the Hawks get full bore there. There we go. All right, now we can start moving the sleds back out of that fight and cycle charge them.
Very well.
All right, so let's go ahead and move up into this capture point. The tower's shooting away at us, but as soon as we take the capture point, that'll be over. So we have pretty well already won this. Like there's not much the AI can do to stop the inevitable here. I'm gonna use more magic. Hit them with a Tormentor Sword so they can't move. Get a summon. Alright, so that Blizzard is gonna cause massive damage. I expect at any moment the AI is just gonna give up and rout here. Keep pushing up. I mean, they won't exactly just straight up rout because the way that this works. But yeah, we're about to knock down that tower and stop the construction of that one.
It is claimed for
There
the
we go.
queen.
And that's it, folks. That's all she wrote. That's all she wrote. So we're gonna take our first settlement off of the Legion of Chaos. Let's get a couple of your comments here while we're loading onto the screen. Benuvane says, it's such a pain. Places are expecting people to come back to work, even though it just ends up costing more money and time. He's talking about my situation at work. And I agree. And then he's talking about his 5th playthrough in the Realms of Chaos as well. It's starting to get a bit tedious. I agree. It does get a little tedious after you've gone through it a few times. And in my opinion, I think it could be fixed by those couple of things I mentioned. One, making it to where if the AI gets ahead of you, you get an automatic chance to fight them in a battle like at the end of the Vortex campaign, and when you beat them once, they're done. Number 2, whenever you go into the Realms of Chaos and come back and you remove those traits, you should get a permanent buff once you remove those traits after coming out of the Realm of Chaos. And number 3, make each realm have that unique thing. Slaanesh is pretty well set. You can take the bribes and leave and get a whole bunch of cool stuff if you want to. In the Realm of Tzeentch, you should have an opportunity, like whenever you go to those things where you can reveal the teleport sigils, or sigils, however you pronounce it. Whenever you do that, you should have an opportunity to pick up a magic item there, a really good one, like a unique one from the Realm of Tzeentch. Maybe not all of them are unique, but at least a chance to get like a really cool unique one. And then in the Realm of Nurgle, like I said, after you come back from that one, you should have an opportunity to be more plague resistant permanently with that army. And then when you come back from the Realm of Khorne, defeating each army in there should like give you a whole bunch of weapons. So like weapons and armor. So like if you defeat an army while you're trying to build up enough blood to be able to fight, at the realm of the Palace of the Blood God or whatever, the tower, you should have the opportunity to pick up tons of weapons and stuff after each fight there. And not all of them have to be unique ones like the chainsword. They could leave the chainsword the way it is, where that's like the unique one you pick up, but they should make it to where you get all kinds of cool weapons and armor from going through there. I think that stuff alone would make people a lot more excited about going there, because then, oh, hey, now I get this benefit from having been there. Then it'll be more fun. So I think they can make those changes, but thanks for the comment. I appreciate it. Country Townify says, I really like the points the Great Book of Grudges put in his video, especially when he suggested putting 60 turns between the rifts instead of 30. That would actually give you time to do something besides sit on the capital and get negative traits. I think that's a fair trade too. And you know what? The easier solution to that. So first of all, I think that's a decent suggestion. I love the excitement that the Book of Grudges has for like all things Warhammer lore. That guy loves his Warhammer. But in any case, I think it's a good suggestion. I think that maybe that should be up to the player, right? Maybe you have a little slider thing before you start the campaign that's like turns in between rifts, and you can set it as low as 30 if you want, or you can take it all the way up to like 60 or 80. Give the player the opportunity to decide kind of how long the campaign's going to play out. So I think it's a good comment, good suggestion from the Book of Grudges, and I would take it a bit further and say they should make it a slider, like a little slider thing where the player gets full control over their chaos experience. So yeah, T-Rex Rex says, love the bear baiting tactics. New definition of bear baiting: when a bear or bears lures its enemies into a terrible surprise. Correct. Unlike the illegal means and methods bear baiting in real life, where jerks try and lure bears in illegally to hunt them. In this case, the bear lures you in to hunt you. So it is a flip of what people are probably used to hearing in that scenario. Let's keep trying the assassination. Oh, sweet, we got another one for Frost Maiden. Let's go ahead with the Frost Maiden and start putting some points into her magic tree so she can be good for Hannibal's army. And then where is our Patriarch? Let's move him across.
Patriarch of Kislev.
Awesome, there we go. And we can finally build up there. So great, we got the growth we needed really bad. And I think that's probably all that we need to worry about from a building standpoint. Well, no, we got one here. We tore down the growth building here because it was no longer needed. So from a recruitment standpoint, I don't have this thing for cavalry, but honestly, like wing lancers and other stuff are kind of okay. They're just not great. We need to have Zargard, right? We should have Zargard somewhere. Let's go ahead and build that. So, all right. think we're ready to end a turn. Let's get a couple more comments before I end this one. This one's a little longer than the last couple episodes have done, but that's okay. Steven says, love the series. Wish I could have a Star Wars Total War. What do you think? Probably will never happen. However, I don't know if... I'll tell you what, they started... Didn't they take it to where it's not just EA that has the IP for Star Wars now? So here's my suggestion for Creative Assembly. I don't know that you could make a Total War game with Star Wars. However, let's think about this. If you look at CA, they made Halo Wars 2, which was more of a traditional type RTS, and it was honestly an excellent and good-looking game. And then you think about in the past, for me, a favorite Star Wars RTS game was Star Wars Empire at War. How cool would it be if CA made a new version of Empire at War using what they learned while making Halo Wars 2 and all of their experience in Total War? Now that would be sweet. If you all haven't ever seen Star Wars Empire at War, even though it's a very old game, it is still very fun to play. You should go check it out. You should definitely go check it out. So Empire at War was excellent. You can play like the gold version of it on Steam, and it has a ton of mods that you can put on it, like complete overhaul mods that are also really good. So you should definitely go check out Empires at War, or Empire at War. And I feel like that CA could do something like Empire at War. It would be epic. Now that said, even if they started spreading out the IP for Star Wars to other companies, I don't know how hard it would be to get Star Wars IP. Obviously, I've never been in that industry, and I just don't really have a clue what that's like to go down that road, but I'd be curious. So, interesting suggestion. FJT says, hey, Heir, loving this series so far. Great to see you having fun with it. The bear bait works so well, no matter the stage in the campaign. It's pretty fun, too. Katarina's army right now is a force to be reckoned with, but I would just mention that on average, demons don't wear too much armor and have quite a large physical resistance. So I'm pretty sure that the armor-piercing quality of some of your missile units is redundant in some cases. However, the Ice Guard's magical attacks, and I gotta go expand this real quick. Hopefully my game doesn't crash from the Alt tab. That does happen a lot with Warhammer 3 and needs to be fixed. He says, however, the Ice Guard have magical attacks as well as armor piercing. Well, I don't think they have AP ammo, but they do have magic attacks. It says, making them much better at dealing with those disgusting demons than the Streltsy. They also have a better range, more ammunition, and are overall better melee combatants. Now that I agree with. It says they can also fire over units and aren't as affected by terrain hindrance, meaning that your super sleds are less at risk of taking friendly fire. They do have less armor, though. I'd love to see unit variations, though, and I tend to not spam when I play. I also understand the economic benefits of having some units of Streltsy instead of the Ice Guard, as many Kislevites here would agree. The guns and fantasies aims are very cool. Sorry for the dissertation and good luck with everything. Hey, you leave all the dissertation you want in my comments. And honestly, I love the comment, and I actually agree with you in most terms. Like, probably the reason why I do have the Streltsy right now is just for the variation and for the specific AP benefits they provide. But I don't disagree with your observation there, which is that Ice Guard in some ways are more beneficial when we're fighting the types of stuff that we're fighting. So it's very fair points, and if you all want to make your armies that way, then I don't disagree that that's better, and that's the reason why you're seeing me get serious about putting Ice Guard in some of these armies. Ice Guard, at first, when I played this game, didn't strike me as anything too crazy, but then as I started spending more time with the Ice Guard, I really started to understand that they are really a critical part. Oh, dang. What happened? How come I can't recruit? Oh, we got sieged at Kislev. How annoying. We've got a double stack outside Kislev. And it was before we finished some of those buildings. Crap. What a bad situation to end up in. So now I can't finish recruiting those Ice Guard that were almost finished. Dang it. And I'm guessing that just out and out attacking, I don't know. We can probably just win this in an out and out attack. Yeah, we are definitely gonna win this. All right, I mean, we can even auto-resolve it. But let's not auto-resolve it. You know what? I'm gonna make a long episode. You all stick around, let's fight this. I'm having fun and I wanna fight this. Yeah, we're gonna not just win, we're gonna absolutely trash our enemies here. Like, this isn't even gonna be close. That Zarguard is gonna be some really tanky frontline, and with that much Ice Guard with Glaive behind it, yeah, rest in pieces, demons. Like, this is gonna be over relatively easy. Now, there are going to be reinforcements. We can see where they're coming from on the map. So we'll want to get out here kind of hot and heavy on these guys quickly. So I think this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some Hussars on the flanks. I'm going to put my Streltsy right under center. And then we're going to set up to push forward, knock out that enemy army first. Let's get everybody on a defensive stance. We'll put the extra unit of archers back here too. Defensive. There we go. And we'll just kind of keep Griffin Legion to protect. Give us a little bit of mass and charge power there. All right, so let's get things started. Let's push forward. Get ourselves in a good firing position against this initial army. Gonna get spread out, and basically I'm coming at it from this flank because I want it to take longer for the enemy reinforcements to arrive, and I also want them to come in from an angle where they're not getting as good of a flank attack on me. We'll look at some of these Ice Guard with glaives up close. These are really cool looking units. Like CA really did well with the unit models, and the same thing with the bears. I can't wait, hopefully, to see these things on tabletop one day. I would buy a set of Kislev miniatures in a country second if GW put them out there for sale. And then the same with Cathay. I would love to have an army of minis for Cathay and Kislev. That would be absolutely awesome. And I'm sure some of you are bigger Chaos fans than I am, would also love to see some of these. I think some of these minis for Chaos, though, already existed in the tabletop. I think it's some of the Kislev stuff in Cathay, which would be new. But I hope they start reprinting some of the old tabletop stuff for Warhammer Fantasy. We know the old world is on the way. I don't know exactly what it means yet, but I would love to see them start reprinting some of that stuff, because I wasn't into Warhammer back then, and I never got my opportunity to play with those things. Oh no, no. I accidentally clicked I hit J, and I think J was an about face hotkey here. And it was right when we got into firing range. What a crappy mistake. Sorry, I'm gonna pause it and fix that, and let's hit play here. Yeah, I hit J, which is, I think, makes your unit do an about face. All right, there we go. Should get realigned. Time to start shooting the crap out of the enemy. Okay, look, we're getting charged. Well, I thought we were getting charged by some Hellstriders there. Oh, those Hellstriders are gonna get wrecked. Griffin Legion aren't fantastic, but against this light armor stuff, they ought to be a pretty good defense. And our missile power here is going to be utterly supreme. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take these 3 Ice Guards, start working the Mammoth. I'm gonna take these 3 Ice Guards and start working that Herald. And then we've already started to wrap up this flank. So I'm gonna start turning these guys in. Mammoth is taking solid damage. I'm gonna get my Griffin Legion away from that Mammoth. My Ice Guards keep shooting it. Oh yeah, this is working very, very nicely right now. Very nicely indeed. Let's send some Zarguard out this way. Start moving these guys across. That Herald is going down in a big hurry. The Demon Prince is coming in. Let's get a counter charge here. All right, Mammoth is gone. Nice counter charge to save our armored Hussars. Excellent. Oh yeah, those guys are getting wrapped up hard. They're going into a crumble mode. How are these guys not crumbling over here? I would have figured their whole army would have crumbled with the losses they had there. All right, so let's get our Ice Guard repositioned, and I need my Streltsy repositioned a little bit too, because that incoming Demon Prince is gonna need a beating. All right, let's now get our infantry maybe to reposition just a little. A Demon Prince is going straight for my Griffin Legion, so let's lure him out here a little bit, try and get him to charge, because I can see that's what he wants. So let's give it to him. And then let's give it to him, if you know what I mean. So we're gonna use that unit as proper bait to get all my Ice Guard to just unleash all over him. And that Demon Prince is gonna go down in a hail of frozen arrows. It is gonna be quite brutal. Then I love this. Look at here, these Chaos Furies. Like, hey, let's go attack those Ice Guard. Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck. You're gonna need it. All right, I'm gonna charge these Furies. Let's get some of this action up close. My Griffin Legion. We don't get to see these units. Griffin Legion are very cool looking. I just think that shot cavalry as a whole is pretty underwhelming right now in the game because of the collision things, but Griffin Legion are a very awesome looking unit. Can't wait to see that collisions, some of the charge stuff get fixed. Look at that. Ooh, that demon was doing some damage. He hurt that Zargard pretty good. The one thing shot cavalry is certainly useful for is the mass. So like right there, it did have enough mass to really slow down the enemy. Let's see, they have got to come across to me. I need to get in a hurry. Let's just fast forward a second, get all my troops reset. Now we can march across a little bit. Like this would be a decent position to fight from right here. Let's go get in position. Close some of the distance. Their Hellstriders are going to come into range first. They may try and work around my flanks, which is fine. Griffin Legion ought to lay waste to Hellstriders with Hell Scourges. And honestly, anything short of like a Heartseeker would not be wise to be charging into the Griffin Legion. Heartseekers would probably do okay. We're not going to get broken in the middle. We're not going to have any problem winning this battle. I was a little bit worried because it was 2 full stacks of demons, and I was like, oh man, this could be bad. But yeah, this isn't bad at all. This isn't bad at all. We had so much Zargard and Ice Guard that it's just like breast and pepperonis for all the bad guys. They don't have a chance. Not a prayer. Way too much firepower here. Not to mention the Zargard. The Zargard are not like fantastic. I mean, against low armor, they're pretty good. They're not fantastic on charge or anything, but Zargard are tanky. They got a lot of armor and they got really high melee defense, and then they have that ability that Kislev gets where when they start to waver, they'll go unbreakable for a short period of time. So Zargard they're potent. I don't use them a lot because my armies revolve around bear baiting, but it's not to say that they're not good. They are absolutely, I mean, hands down, like the best melee unit for Kislev. They're just a lot more situational for me. I think it depends on the factions you're fighting, whether or not you end up wanting to use them. So there we go. The Siege of Kislev has been broken, and we've gotten to a good episode. Let's go ahead and grab maybe another comment or two. It says, Mustafa says, I usually end up auto-resolving the final battle in the Realms of Chaos. Dude, I do too sometimes, and it's not so much because I don't like those battles. They do get a little repetitive, but it's more so because they're too long. I think I would be more likely to fight them if they weren't quite so long. So I don't know about 3 capture points and 3 waves. Again, maybe that should be a setting for the player at the beginning that kind of controls some of that. I don't know. What are you all's thoughts on that? Joseph Dutton says, I feel you, Heir. We just went back to the office full time, and it's an exhausting transition, although it's nice to see my coworkers. Yeah, I like my coworkers. I don't mind seeing them, and honestly, my idea of the way that work should be right now, there are some meetings that we need to be doing in person. Like when we had a talent review the other day where I'm on the leadership team in my department, and so we had a talent review of all the people in the department. It's easier for us to get together and discuss that. You know, how are people doing? What should we be doing to help develop their talent? How can we help them be successful? You know, we're having all those conversations. That's easier to do in person. It's more private, you know, if we do it in person as well. And so that was a good thing. And I liked being there with my team for that. And because like I said, I like my team members. What I don't like is hey, like the guidance from my company has just been like, hey, we expect you to be in the office the majority of the time, but we're flexible. Like, what? You just said you expect me to be there majority of the time. That's not flexible. Like, the definition of flexible means I can pick what I need. And that's not flexible when you say, hey, things are basically going back to the way they were before. That's actually definitionally inflexible. And so it's really frustrating for my company to turn around and do that because we have just handed them like record profits and success and productivity while working at home. I want some acknowledgement of that, right? And the best acknowledgement of it is to, over the long run, trust us to work at home, right? Trust the people to make the decisions over who can work at home effectively, who is not abusing the system. You see what I mean? Like, who is taking care of things the way that they should be. So I think, you know, trust us to make those decisions. It's okay. And I think that's where I feel pretty betrayed right now, is that it's like they don't trust us. Like, we have to get you back in the office where we can monitor the way you're working, even though for the last 2 years you gave us unprecedented and unparalleled success. So that is the part that it's not just unacceptable, it's like a cheese grater on my face. You know what I mean? Like it's not just unacceptable, it is blatantly and obviously disrespectful. And so that I really struggle with. So, yeah, I really struggle. And some people could say, well, Heir, it's their company, they're paying you, they can demand how you work. That is absolutely true. It is 100% true. However, that doesn't mean they're free from the consequences of their demands. And at this point, in this world, with the way, like, so for instance, we're trying to hire people on my team. We are really struggling to hire people because the first thing people ask us is, can I work remote? And when our answer is no, you have to relocate here to a state you may or may not want to live in, they almost instantly turn off to us. It's cutting off a ton of our talent options because of it. Anyway, we'll start the campaign here next time. Thanks for the awesome comments. Oh, one more I gotta get in here. Killscribe is tracking our kills. We love Killscribe. He is our favorite scribe. We have killed more corn than anything else at 4,632. Nurgle comes in second at 4,118. The Ropsman clan now at third. Their factions destroyed. They were the ones who owned Prague at 3,609. Bubonic Swarm at 3,595. And Besornlings coming in at 5th place at 3,589. Thank you, Killscribe. You are the best. Anyway, Heir of Carthage signing out for now. I will see you all soon with some more Kislev campaign action.